Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to discuss with you the solution of problem 114, which deals with electric potential in volts and electric potential energy in joules. I, Walter Lewin, go very far away and come back to my own reference frame with a charge. There is no electric field anywhere between me and my reference frame when I bring a charge in my reference frame. And I bring a charge of +3 microcoulomb and I bring that to position A. And the coordinate of A is x +3, y -4, z +5. You see that here. Once the first charge is in place, I go again far away and I bring a second charge in my reference frame, and the second charge is -8 microcoulomb. I bring that at location B, and these are the coordinates of location B. Then I go again far away and I come back with a third charge, and the third charge is +5 microcoulomb, and these are the coordinates of the third charge at point C, and the units are in meters. Alright, so now the first question is, I choose a point P. I chose that pretty much at random. I could have picked any other point. This is the position of P that I chose. These are also in meters. And the first question now is, what is the electric potential in volts at that point P, 4-digit precision? Well, I suggest you watch my lecture number 12 of 802, not 801, of 802. I derived there that if I have a charge Q here and at a distance capital R to point P, that the electric potential at that point P, V of P, is this charge divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 and divided by R, and R is the distance. It is a scalar. And 1/4 pi epsilon 0 is often called Coulomb's constant. So the K is Coulomb's constant is then upstairs. And 1/4 pi epsilon 0, K, is very close to 9 times 10 to the 9th in SI units. To be more precise, it is 8.99 times 10 to the 9 in SI units. So, since there are 3 charges, each of those charges produce its own potential in that point P, independent of the others. So you have to add those 3 potentials. So, you do this for A. You know the distance between A and P, that's easy to calculate. You do that then independently for B, and you know the distance between B and P, that's easy to calculate, that's this R. And you do that for C. The potential that the charge at point A produces at point B is 3.246 times 10 to the 3rd volts. The potential that the charge at B produces at P is -7.455 times 10 to the 3rd volts. This is also times 10 to the 3rd. And the potential that the source at C produces at P is plus 3.016 times 10 to the 3 volts. So you have to add them all three, and then you find that the voltage at point P is minus 1.193 times 10 to the third volts. The dimensions of volts is also joules per coulomb. Remember how potential was defined. If I, Walter Lewin, come from very far away with some test charge in my hand, let's call the test charge little q. If I then go to a certain point P in space, where there is already a charge in space, I have to do work. And the amount of work I have to do divided by my test charge is per definition the electric potential. So my test charge, little q, can be positive or can be negative. I will come up with the same result because I have to finally divide by charge q. So if I approach charge at location A with a positive charge, I have to do positive work. If I approach it with a negative charge, I have to do negative work. But that is irrelevant because the work per unit Q is the same. Because the minus signs cancel and the plus signs cancel. So, that is why in fact knowing that voltage is joules per coulomb gives you also some insight in the definition of voltage. So now we come to the second question. Many of you did this right. I would say about 70% of the answers here were right. Now the electric potential energy, that didn't work so well. Only 20% of you had that right. So you may want to brush up on that. It is the work that I, Walter Lewin, have to do to put these three charges where they are. It has nothing to do anymore with point P. All right. You can calculate the distance between point A and B. For me to point A, to put the charge at A, 0 joules, because there's no electric field anywhere in between us. When I bring B in, however, I have to do work because A is already in place. I know the distance between A and B, that follows from a coordinate system, 14.66 meters. I call that DAB. So the work that I have to do to add B to A is the charge at A times the charge at B times K divided by the distance between the two. And the charge at A and the charge at B, that product is 3 times 8 times 10 to the minus 12. But of course, this charge was negative. I should really have put a negative here. I know what the distance between A and B is. It's this. And so the work that I have to do to bring B in my reference frame when A is already there is negative. Because this product is negative. 8 was minus 8 microcoulomb, this was plus 3. And 10 to the minus 6 times 10 to the minus 6 is 10 to the minus 12. So this now is the work that I have to do to bring B in place when A is already there. In a similar way, you can calculate the distance between A and C and the distance between B and C. So when you bring C now at its location, when you bring the third charge to position C, you have to do work because you have to overcome the charge at A. But when you bring location C where it is, you also have to do work because you have to overcome the electric field due to B. So you now have to calculate the distance AC and the distance BC in the same way that we did that here. You multiply the charge at A with the charge at C. So you get again the product of two charges here. You do here too, you do the charge at B, multiply with the charge at C. It's all exactly what I did here. And you find now that when you add C to A, you have to do 1.726 times 10 to the minus 2 joules. But when you put C, because B is there, you also have to do minus 1.908 times 10 to the minus 2 joules. So you have to do this much work when you want to bring B with A in place, and you have to do this much work when you place C in the field where A and B already are there. If you add up all those works, you end up with minus 1.653 times 10 to the minus 2 joules. So you have to do negative work. There's no problem with negative work. So as I said, most of you didn't do this right. I really don't know what went wrong, but something basically went wrong. Apart from the fact that some of you don't realize that this charge, the product of these charges here is 10 to the minus 12. But that's a separate issue. Yeah. Then of course you have the whole thing off by a factor of a million or so, a billion or so. Alright, I really recommend strongly that you watch my lecture number 12 of 802. I do all of that in that lecture. Whether you did it right or wrong makes no difference to me. We'll be friends anyhow. It may make a difference to you, because you should know this stuff. This is simple high school physics. There's no doubt about it. Anyone who took a course in physics in high school has covered this. There's no question about that. It is it's a starting point basically of electricity and magnetism. The moment that you have learned Gauss's law, this follows immediately. So make that part of your horizon and brush up on it. Have a nice day. Take care. Problem 115, I'm afraid, will be extremely difficult. But I haven't decided on that yet.